Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the My Zone online school. My name is Maricel Stoffberg and today we will be learning a lot of new things. We'll be seeing new teachers and I am so excited. But before we start, please remember to always sanitize your hands. And make sure to spread the sanitizer everywhere. Don't forget those silly thumbs. Our theme for this week is to please remember to wash your hands. And always remember this should be done for at least 20 seconds. So if you're thinking, how long is 20 seconds really? Just sing happy birthday to yourself twice. It'll make you feel better. And also you'll know that you've washed your hands for at least 20 seconds. But now let's get learning because I'm so excited to learn a lot of new things today. So we're checking in with our pre-primary and grade 1 learners for week 3, lesson 1.
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, lesson 1. Prepositions and directions.
Welcome to My Zone online school. My name is Teacher Huakus. I'm joined by my friend today. Today's lesson is the census. But before we start, let's sanitize our hands. The importance of sanitizing hands is to kill germs, but if you don't have a sanitizer, remember to use soap and running water. Good job. Let's start with today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be about 5 senses. You're going to find this on page 3, 4, and 5. We have got 5 senses. We're going to look at them now. We have got the eyes to see, the tongue to taste, and our hands to touch, our ears to hear, and our nose to smell. Can my friend help me to point to the 5 senses? Well done. We have got 5 senses. Can we turn to page 4? Here we find our 4 senses. Now, in the first column, let's look at that. We have got our ear and the cheek and a candle and a clock. Now tell me, what do you hear? Do you hear the cheek or the candle or the clock? I can see. Now can you please kindly circle what you can hear? And oh, I can see, well done. Secondly, can you please look at the second column? We have got the sense of taste. Now we're going to see whether we going to taste the apple or the mouse or the tap. I can see there's water dropping out. Oh, well done. Can you please circle it for me? Thank you so much. Now this too, the sense of touch and smell you can do at home. Well done. Can we turn to page 5? Here, it's very important to look at the pictures. The first column shows a guitar where you can play the music and obviously hear something. But remember to use the correct sense. We have got the hand, the ear, the nose, and the mouth. What are you going to use to hear the sound? Well done. Well done. We're going to use the sense which is for hearing. And the second column, let's look at our senses on the side and again at the apple. Are you going to use the sense of touch, sense of hearing, sense of smell, or sense of taste? Oh yes, you can hear. I can hear, yes, you can use the sense of taste. Well done. This is so good. Now, if we look at the rest of the page, I am going to leave this too because you're very excited to do this so that you can do it on your own. On page 6, we're going to draw this face on the open space. Remember, we talked about our 5 senses. Make sure that you include everything on there. I can see something is missing. Or I can hear the taste, the sense of smell is missing. But when you draw your face below, remember to include that as well. Good. Now we can move on to page 7. And I'm going to ask our friend to kindly help us to draw his face on the board, and the rest of the things you can draw at home. Well done. I can see all those senses. It's for hearing. Sense of taste. You can see with our eyes, that's helping us to see the eyes. And I can see there's something missing, my friend. Don't forget to include that. Remember, teachers told you. Excellent! Now we're done with our lesson. Hope you have enjoyed being with us. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. But before we go, let's sanitize our hands. It's very important to kill all our germs on the hands. And if you don't have sanitizer, remember to use soap and running water. And now, before we say bye, we will call our friend Zosie to say bye. Bye!
Hi everyone, my name is Josie and I am back. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Thank you so much, Teacher Lindina. What an exciting lesson all about my senses. How to see, hear, taste, smell, feel. Oh, I'm so excited. But remember, please don't touch, feel, see, or anything your face in this time. We are avoiding touching our face, but also washing our hands. So now it is week 3, lesson 1 with our grade 2 and 3 learners.
Hello there friends, welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Miss Guriras and I have a friend here with me. This week we'll talk about, this week's theme, will be culture and cultural events. But before we can start, let's quickly sanitize our hands. And make sure you sanitize them nicely so that we can keep our hands all germ-free. Now, today's lesson will be all about calendar, comparing and place values. Okay, so we are going to learn about calendar in more detail. Let's quickly turn to page 3 and we will first start with the grade 2 level. And I will explain to you what a calendar is. A calendar is a chart that shows the days, weeks, months of the year. And now here I have a calendar for you for May, but this one is not the whole full calendar. This is only a monthly one. All right, so here we have the days of the week on the first row here, and then we have all the boxes with the numbers in them. For example, if we have to look on the date, the 6th of May, it will be on Wednesday because the 6 is under the Wednesday date. And all the numbers in those boxes stands for the Wednesday. We can always count the boxes. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. We have 6 boxes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have 6 Wednesdays. We only count the boxes with the days in them. All right. For example, if we have to look at the Sunday of May, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. But how many Sundays do you think we have? We only count the boxes with the numbers in them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes with the numbers. So we have 5 Sundays in the month of May. We also have to know the difference between the day and the date, okay? When we are referring to the day of the month, we have to mention the day's name. For example, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. But when we have to look at the date, when you are being asked about the date, we look at the numbers inside of the calendar, all right? Okay? So can we quickly look on our page? I have an activity there for you. So whenever you need to fill in this calendar, you have to have one by your side in order to fill in all the empty boxes with the correct dates. All right. So we have also an activity for you there whereby you will need to complete all the sentences. I am going to do for you the first and the second one. The rest you have to do it on your own. For example, the name of the month. What do you think is the name of the month? So you need to look on the calendar because every month has a name which is written on top of the calendar, right? So look at the name of the month. The answer will be there on top. So you have to fill in May because we are busy with May month. The second one will be the month has days. How many days does the month of May have? Can you help me with that, Landre? The days of the month. Then you look at the number of the dates that we have. What is the last number there? 31. 31, eh? That's correct. It's 31 days. So for the rest of the worksheet, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I would like for you to complete that at home. And remember to have a calendar with you to help you. Now, how about we turn to page 4 for the grade 3 level. Now, there we have all of the months of the year, but they are actually not in the correct order. So I have a calendar here. So I would like for us to read all the names, the months of the year here for us, with us, sorry. The first month is the January. The second one will be February. And then we have March, which is the third. Then we have April, which is the fourth. Landre, what do you think the fifth month will be? May will be? It will be the fifth month, all right? And then we have September, we have May here. And then we have June following, which will be the 6th month. Very good. Then we have July, the 7th. Then we have August, the 8th. And then we have September, Landre, the 9th. And then we have October, the 10th. And then we have November, which will be our 11th month. And then we have our last month, which will be our December. Okay, that's how we count the names of the months orderly, accordingly to our calendar. We have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So we have 12 months in a year. For example, if I have to ask you, Leandre, what month comes before February? So what do? We go to the month of February and we look at the month that we get before February. Which one comes first? First February comes. Before we reach February comes January. Before we can say February, January comes first. All right. What month, can we tell me the 6th month of the year? What do? We count the months until we reach number 6. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6th month of the year will be a June. Very good. So that is how you play around with your calendar. All right. So now I have a worksheet there for you, whereby the months of the year are not in order. But as you are going to answer the questions, you have to arrange the months accordingly. I will do the first until the 3rd activity with you, and the rest you can do it on your own. For example, the first month of the year. If you are getting confused, you can always have a calendar by you so that it will make it easier for you to answer the questions. So what do you think is the first month of the year? It's January, so you have to write January. And remember, the months of the year always starts also with a capital letter. Don't forget that. And then we have number 2, the last month of the year. Which one do you think is the last month? December. Awesome. It's December. So you complete also December. So the rest of the activity, I would like for you to complete it at home. All right. I hope you have enjoyed your last activity about calendar. Now we will look on page 5 and then we will focus on comparisons. Okay. Come, Leandre, quickly. Now, if we are standing here, me and Leandre, who is taller? Obviously, I am taller. So that's how we also do the comparing. We are comparing our heights. Same also applies. You can sit, Leandre. Same also applies when we have to compare the numbers. When we are comparing the numbers, we have to check which one is smaller than the other. For example, if I have a number here, let me just quickly write roughly a number here, a 12 and a 22. Now, how will we know which one is bigger than the other one? How can we compare these two numbers? We can first look on by looking at the numbers on the tens side. On the tens, which of these two numbers are bigger? This one, obviously, because this one has a 2 and this one has a 1. So we encircle the one that is bigger, which will be a 22. Let's quickly look on this one, the 14 and a 15. When we look on the first numbers here, both of them are equal. They are the same. What do? We move on to the next number, which is on the unit side, and then we compare these two. Now, between 4 and a 5, which one do you think is bigger? 5. The one with the 5. So, which means between 14 and a 15, the number 15 is bigger than 14. That is how we also compare the numbers. Now, let's quickly look on our worksheet. The first one has been done for you. The 13, 9, and the 10. The 13 is the biggest number between the other two. Now, let's quickly look on the next box. Next to the 10, we have a 21, we have a 12, and we have a 14. Now, between those three numbers, which one do you think is the biggest one? Then we first of all look on the first numbers of each one. We have a 2 in the first box. We have a 1 in the next one, and then we have another 1 there. Which one do you think is the first one? We have a 2. So the one with a 2 is the biggest one. So you encircle the one that says 21. Let's quickly look on the other one. 17, 15, 1. We can see all the digits standing in the first places are all ones. Then we'll move on to the next digits, which represents the units. Then we have in the first box the 7, the second box has the 5, and the third box has the 3. So the one with the 7 is the biggest one. All right, let's quickly look also on the next one. We have a 10, we have a 11, and we have a 12. We can notice by looking on the first numbers that all the first numbers have ones. So which means they are all equal. But then we look on the numbers on the unit side. The first box has a 0, the second box has a 1, and the other one has a 2. So we encircle the one with a 2 because that one is the biggest of them all. All right. So the rest of the boxes I would like for you to complete by encircling all the bigger number that you see in the box. All right. Let us quickly turn to page 6. Now it's the grade 3 level, whereby we are no longer going to encircle the bigger number, but rather put in the greater than sign or the less than sign. The greater than sign simply means whenever we have to put it in, the open of the mouth of the sign should be eating the bigger number, saving the smaller one. All right. For example, we can see the examples given there. We have 6 apples on the left side and the 4 apples on the other side. Which one is greater? Yes, of course. The 6 is greater than the 4, so the mouth should be opening towards the bigger number. Let's quickly look on the next example. We have 3 grapes on the left side and 5 grapes on the right side. Which one do you think is greater? Yes, of course, 5 is greater than the 3. So which means 5 grapes are less than the, 3 grapes are less than the 5 grapes. All right. Also, the same rule applies whenever we have to look on the numbers here as well. Let's quickly do the first activity. 16 and 31. Look at the numbers standing in front at the place for the tens. We can see we have a 1 and we have a 3 on the other hand. Which number do you think is bigger? Yes, 31 is greater than 16. So the mouth of the sign should be opening towards the 31, which means we are eating the bigger number. Let's look at the next one. Between 70 and a 40. First of all, if you get confused, you look at the places of the numbers, at the tens places, all right? We have a 7 and we have a 4. Between 7 and 4, which one do you think is bigger? Landre? A 70. Very good. A 70. So the mouth of the sign should be opening towards 70. Let's quickly look at the next one, next to 70 and a 40. 27 and 28. We look at the first numbers. They are both the same. They are equal. What do? We move on to the next one, which is at the place of the units. We have a 7 and we have an 8. So between 7 and an 8, which one is greater? 28. That is perfect. So the mouth of the sign should be opening towards 28. So we put in the less than sign in there. So I have an activity for you there so that you can complete it at home. Play around with the numbers, put in the less than or the greater than sign, and compare the numbers with each other. All right. I hope you've enjoyed our previous lesson regarding comparisons. Now turn to page 7. On grade 3 level, we will look at the place values. But what are place values? Place values is a position of a digit in a number. Each position tells us its values. So in a number, we have the hundreds, the tens, and the units. For example, you have been given an example there. Look at the number which is, look at the digit that has been underlined. Is it at the place for the hundreds, or is it at the place for the tens, or is it at the place for the units? We can see the middle one stands for the tens. So the tens is the one that has been underlined. So it asks us about the value of the number. The value, it means if we have to add 3 tens together, we will have 30. But the place is at the tens place. Can you see how it's been decomposed? Then we look at the next one, 572. We have the 500s, you have 7 tens, and we have 2 units. The units place is been underlined, so it means the place value for the unit, for the 2, is the units. Let's look at the next one, 728. So there's a line under the hundreds place. So which means we have the 700s, okay? But there's a difference between the place and the value of the number. Can you see all the numbers in the middle? For example, the 30, the 2, and the 700 are the values of the underlined number. But the last ones, okay, the ones that are underlined, if you are being asked about the places, you have to mention whether it's at the tens place, or whether it's at the units place, or whether it's at the hundreds place. All right. So, okay, let's quickly look at the activity that I have for you there. What is the place value? Remember, place. We want to know the place of the number that has been underlined. Let's look at the first one. 24. The number 4 is the one that is underlined. So we want to know the place. With other words, we want to know the word, the name of that place. Is it hundreds, tens, or the units? You can only see there are only 2 numbers there. It's only tens and the units. So the place for the fourth is the units. So you write the word units there. Let's quickly look on the one next to it, 98. Again here, we only have 2 digits, 9 and an 8. 9 is the one that is underlined, so it wants to know the place. At what place is that 9? It's at the 10th place, so we write the 10ths, all right? Let's go down to 67. 67, the 7 is the one that is underlined. But what place value is that? It's at the units. So you write the units there. All right, and I would like for you to complete rest of the activities by writing the correct place values next to each number. Down there below, we have to build the numbers. Remember, in our previous lessons, we have learned how to break up the numbers. But this time, we have to build the numbers. All right, what do we do when we are building up the numbers? 20 plus a 3, if it has to become a one single number, what can we do? In short way, we just simply kill the zeros and write the leftover numbers together. Okay, can we practice that? For example, 10 plus a 6. You kill the 0 and then you write the 1 and the 6 next to each other to make out a 16. Now that is a very nice and simple activity for you. I hope you will enjoy by doing that. And now we have come to the end of today's lesson. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson about the calendars and the comparisons and the place values. Remember to always do your homework and please do sanitize your hands. It's very healthy, thoroughly and thoroughly to keep all the germs away. And don't forget about Sushi. So she wants to say something. Sushi, say bye to your friends.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am back. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Thank you, teacher Guriras. What an exciting lesson, all about the calendar and place value. But always remember, you have value and education is valuable. So now we will be checking in with our grade 4 and 5 learners for their English lesson, week 3, lesson 3.
Good morning to all the Namibian learners out there. My name is Ngamen Dunge Namwandi and I'll be your English teacher for today. In my class today, I have Chanel. Good morning, Chanel, and welcome back. But before we start with today's lesson, we are going to take our hand sanitizer and we are going to sanitize our hands. In and out, in between our fingers. There we go. Today's lesson will be about nouns. Okay, today we are going to do a recap on all the 4 types of nouns that we did. Can you still remember the 4 types of nouns, Chanel? Yes, she can still remember the 4 types of nouns that we did. The 4 types of nouns that we did were common nouns, proper nouns, abstract nouns, and collective nouns. Now, remember in our first lesson, we did common nouns and proper nouns. Chanel, can you remember what a common noun is? Yeah, she can still remember what a common noun is. So I'm going to explain what a common noun is. A common noun are names that we give to ordinary objects. They do not start with a capital letter unless they begin a sentence. Examples: trees, chairs, and tables. Moving on to proper nouns. Chanel, can you still remember what a proper noun is? Yippee, yippee. She can still remember what a proper noun is. A proper noun are specific names that we give to specific people, places, days of the week, and months of the year. They start with capital letters. Example: Chanel, ShopRite, Windhoek. Now, we are going to look on the board and see if we can still remember the types of nouns that we did. Chanel, look on the board. Nependa. Is nependa a common noun or a proper noun? Nependa is a proper noun. Why? Because it begins with a capital letter. All right. Is Windhoek a common noun or a proper noun? It is a proper noun because it starts with a capital letter. Moving on. Is table a common noun or a proper noun? It is a common noun because it names an ordinary object and it starts with a small letter. All right, we are going to go back to our book. On the same page, page 3, and we are going to move on to abstract noun and collective noun. Chanel, can you still remember what an abstract noun is? Yippee, yippee. She can still remember what an abstract noun is. An abstract noun names or is something that we cannot see, touch, or measure. It is often a feeling or an emotion. Example: love, jealousy, sickness. I am only going to mention a few. Right. Now, we are going to move on to collective noun. Chanel, what is a collective noun? Of course, a collective noun names a group of people, animals, or objects. Now, in your book, you can see we have a group of fish there. Now, what name do we give to fish when they are in a group? A school of fish. They can still remember that. Do you have any questions, Chanel? No questions. On page 4, we have a short story. Chanel is going to read with me. Okay? We are not going to read everything for you. You can ask Mommy and Daddy to continue reading for you. Chanel, let's start reading. I hope you are listening attentively. Now, it says, today is Thursday, and the group of boys are running with excitement. Samuel and his friends are helping Mr. Muntolo on the farm. One can hear the happiness in their voices as they are talking about holiday times. They are passing the litter of kittens in the barn to the herd of sheep. Well done, Chanel. Give a round of applause. All right, now we are going to look at all the nouns that we have learned in this story. I have done it for you, okay? With this activity, I have given you the answers. All right, now, first question says, which common nouns did we find? There are boys, There are friends, voices, kittens, Ben. Right? With the next one, it says, which proper nouns did we find? Thursday, Samuel, Mr. Muntolo, Deep Faith, or Chikoto Lake. You can see that the proper nouns are written with capital letters. Okay, moving on to abstract nouns. What did we find in the story? We found, Chanel, what did we find? We found excitement. I want you to smile because you are excited. Happiness, boredom, love, pride. Moving on to the next one. Collective nouns. Chanel, what did we find in the story? We found group of boys, litter of kittens, head of sheep, lake of water, stack of wood. Hooray! Let us move on to the next page. I have done so much talking today, so now it's your turn to do your activities. On page 5, you are going to do activity 2. What are you going to do? You are going to fill in the common nouns in the left column and the proper nouns in the right column. So that is the activity that you are going to do on that page. Moving on to the next page, and that will be page 6. On page 6, you are going to do activity 3. Now, the instruction says, write the correct abstract noun next to each word or emotion below. I hope that you have paid attention and that you are going to do your activities. We are going to move on to the next activity on page 7. On page 7, there is activity 4 that you are going to do. And the instructions are, sort these nouns in their correct categories and complete the columns below. Those are the activities that you are going to do. It's quite a lot, but I hope that you are going to enjoy them. Moving on to the next page, page 8. On page 8, we are going to do activity 5. Now, activity 5 goes on until page 9. The instructions are, identify the underlined nouns in the sentences below and write them in the spaces provided. What are you going to do? You are going to identify the underlined nouns. For example, freedom in the sentences below and write them down in the spaces provided. Like I said, activity 5 goes on until page 9. Activity 5 goes on until page 9. That will be the end of your activities. I hope you will have fun and that you are going to enjoy your activities. On page 10, there is a memorandum for the activities that I've given you. I hope that you are not going to cheat. Do not cheat, okay? The memorandum goes on until page 11. It goes on until page 11. I hope that you have paid attention and that you have listened attentively. But before we close our lesson for today, Chanel and I are going to take our hand sanitizers, sanitize our hands. In and out, Chanel. There we go. In between our fingers, Chanel. Straighten our arms, just to see if we are practicing the social distance. I hope that you had fun. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am back. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Teacher Namwandi, you are a superstar. What an exciting lesson on nouns. I feel all nouny today. So next, we are excited to introduce our grade 6 and 7 learners, week 1, lesson 1, English.
Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Oswald Ndoda. Welcome, my friend here. I am going to take you in English for grade 6 and 7. Let us remember to put on our masks and let us reach for our bottles of sanitizer and rub in the palms outside in between the fingers, and let us also maintain 1 meter social distance. Today's lesson is going to be on nouns. Right, let us turn to page 3 on nouns. What are nouns? Nouns are naming words. They name people, places, objects, and ideas. Here are some examples of nouns: man, pen, book, Peter, apple, conja, sister, friend, hubabis, Karas region, and Ongwediva. There are 4 main types of nouns. We have common nouns, proper nouns, abstract nouns, and collective nouns. Now, common nouns. A common noun is a word that names any person, place, thing, or idea. Examples of common nouns in sentences. My book is on the table. So, the word book and table, those which are underlined, are the nouns, are the common nouns. My book is on the table. Book and table are common nouns. The next one, Tamika went to school early in the morning. The common noun there, which is underlined, is school. I went to church today. The common noun, which is underlined, is church. There were many people absent. People is our common noun. Right, let's move to proper nouns. Proper nouns are names of specific persons or people, places, things, or ideas. Let's turn to the next page, page 4. They always start with capital letters. These are proper nouns. They always start with capital letters. Most of them are not found in the dictionary. Examples of proper nouns in sentences. My book, Long Walk to Freedom, is on the table. As you can see there, Long Walk to Freedom is underlined. That's the proper noun. It is the name of a book. The next one, Tamika goes to Mati Atisari, Tamika goes to Mati Atisari Primary School. Now, the underlined words Tamika and Mati Atisari Primary School, those are the proper nouns. I explained the common nouns and the proper nouns, and we said the difference is proper nouns are specific names. Let me write this on the board. Proper nouns are specific names. All right. And common nouns are just names. Right. For example, here, if we say tree, that's a common noun. And here, a specific noun, we say Shilongo. All right. Now, on activity 1, it says, look at the picture and answer the questions. There are some pictures there. Question number 1 says, identify any 10 common nouns from the picture and write them in spaces provided. Common nouns, common nouns. We are only looking at common nouns from the pictures, not proper nouns. Right. For example, a common noun from the picture is a tricycle. Can you see a tricycle? And there is also a pair of shoes in the picture. Those are common nouns. So I want you to complete from number 3 to number 10, writing those common nouns, which you can see. Right, let us turn to page 5. The first one says, use any two common nouns from the list and write 2 sentences of your own. Underline the common noun used. For example, I will choose shoes, a pair of shoes. A pair of shoes. Right. This word shoes is my noun, and I want to use it in a sentence. Every day before I come to school, I polish my shoes and put them on. Right. I have used the word, the common noun shoes in a sentence. So that's what I would like you to do. You choose only two, and then you write sentences. But don't copy the one I have written. All right, let's move on to activity 2. Read the passage below, circle all the proper nouns, and write them correctly on the lines below. Remember, we said proper nouns are specific names. They are specific names like names of people. And therefore, they must begin with a capital letter whenever you write them. Make sure you begin with a capital letter. Right. Let me read. Mandume lives in a village outside of Rundu, which is the capital of the Kavango East region of Namibia. The town borders Angola and is on the banks of the Okavango River. The bus collects him each Monday and takes him to Rudolph Gondo Primary School. He reads the book, The Great Flood, by Hope Dube while he travels to the bus. Right. I will repeat the reading, and while I'm repeating, try to identify proper nouns, which are specific names either for people or places or ideas. Right, let's read again. Mandume lives in a village outside of Rundu, which is the capital of the Kavango East region of Namibia. The town borders Angola and is on the banks of the Okavango River. The bus collects him each Monday and takes him to Rudolph Ngondo Primary School. He reads the book, The Great Flood, by Hope Dube while he travels to the bus. So, we are given number 1 to 10 there. You read and choose proper nouns, which means specific names. For example, I will do number 1 and 2 for you. We have Mandume. Mandume, that's a name of a person. Let me wrap this. Mandume with a capital letter. Mandume. That's our number 1. Number 2, Mandume lives in a village outside of Rundu. Rundu, that's a name of a village, so it should have a capital letter. Right, let's now start reading and writing. Let us proceed to activity 3. This is on page 6. It says, Bob cannot remember nouns. That word Bob there is a proper noun, okay? Read the descriptions, write down a word of your choosing, and circle the type of noun it is. Right, there's a mistake there. Where it says choosing, it's supposed to be choice. C-H-O-I-C-E. So it would read the descriptions, write down a word of your choice, and circle the type of noun it is. Right, I think it's clear now. On your left, it says, circle the correct answer. Now, how do we answer this? Let's go to number 1. I'll give it as an example. Maybe number 1 and 2 as examples, and then the rest, you do it on your own. Right. The first one, dash is the brand name of a shoe. Dash is the brand name of a shoe. Right. Do we know brand names? For example, we have Wayne Brenner. That's a brand name of a shoe. So we would say Wayne Brenner is the brand name of a shoe. And we go to common and proper. That name, is it common or a proper noun? That should be a common noun. Number 2, the dash is an animal with a shell. The tortoise is an animal with a shell. Again, it's a common noun. Now do number 3 up to number 10. You underline or circle the word that you'd have written, whether it's proper or common. Now we move on to page 7, where we have our activity number 4. It says, cut out the cards. Match the common and proper nouns. Extra challenges to note. Use a few of the proper nouns and the matching common nouns in sentences. Don't forget their capital letters if you write them. Remember, we said proper nouns should begin with capital letters. Turn the cards face down and play matching pairs with a friend, parent, or guardian. Right. Now, we have 3 columns there. The first column is for proper nouns, which should begin with a capital letter. And the second column has got the answer. And the last column is the common noun. For example, we have let me pick on number 1, commerce. Commerce. The word which corresponds with commerce is region. So we say commerce region. All right. Commerce region. And then number 2, there is checkers. Checkers. Checkers is a proper noun which corresponds with G, which is supermarket. Checkers is a supermarket. So you continue from number 3 up to number 7, finding the corresponding words. Remember, you first cut them out into cards, then you open them up and try to match them. Just like the example that I've given for commerce region and checkers supermarket. Okay, if you have problems, you should ask. Right, let's open on page 8. where we have activity 5, proper and common nouns. Classify the following nouns in the table below by writing word item in the word bank in the correct column. Let me read again. Classify the following nouns in the table below by writing word item in the word bank in the correct column. Right. We have the word bank there, where we have such words as swakopmund, superhero, kitchen, school, etc. Now the question is saying, you classify those words as common nouns or proper nouns. Remember, we said proper nouns, always they begin with a capital letter. Like Swakopmund, which is a town, we write it beginning with a capital letter. Right, so I am saying all those words which are specific names, like Swakopmund, we write them under proper nouns, and then the other words, the other names, we write them under common nouns. All right. So we said Swakopmund will go to proper noun, and perhaps train will go to common noun. Africa, it goes to proper noun. Those are specific names. Africa, remember, is a name of a continent. Right. Let's move on to the next activity on page 9. Right, are we all on page 9? This is activity 6. Proper and common nouns. Identify the underlined word in each sentence as a proper or common noun. Write P for proper and C for common. An example, Manchester United is a good soccer team. The underlined word is Manchester United. You see the way it is written. Capital letter M and capital letter U to show that it's a specific name of a club or a soccer team. So Manchester United is a good soccer team. So in the space provided, there is a P to show that it's a proper noun. Right. The next one says, the Brave Warriors will play soccer tonight at the Independence Stadium. Independence Stadium is a proper noun, which is underlined as well. So, on the space provided, you write a P as well to show that it's a proper noun. It's a specific name. My last example is on number 2. The family will eat lunch together. The family will eat lunch together. The word family is just a common noun. It's not a proper noun. So we write it in small letters, as you can see. So on the space provided, we write a C for common noun. So you can do the rest from number 3 up to number 10, showing us whether it's a common or a proper noun. Make sure you ask if you do not understand. Right. Last but not least, let's go to page 10, which is activity number 7. It says, write your own 6 proper and 6 common nouns in the table down below. 6 proper and 6 common nouns in the table down below. Right. You should take note of the differences between a common noun and a proper noun. Remember, we said a proper noun is a specific name, while a common noun is just a name either of a person, a building, anything that we make. Those names, you write them under common, and then the ones with specific names, you write them under proper nouns. Right. For example, I would choose a word like table. Table is a common noun. And for proper noun, I will choose a word like Namibia. Namibia is the name of a country, which is our country. So it begins with a capital letter, Namibia. So do the rest by writing common and proper nouns. Right, boys and girls, we have come to the end of our lesson. I hope you are not going to forget the difference between proper nouns and common nouns. Remember, I said proper nouns are specific names like Namibia, Okavango, Delta, etc. These are specific names, and common nouns are just simple names like table, chair, tree, etc. Make sure you don't forget that. And we should also not forget to sanitize, keep the social distance. Before we go, let's take our sanitizer and try to sanitize inside our palms, outside, and in between the fingers. And finally, maintain the social distance. Thank you, boys and girls. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye.
Teacher Oswald, you are the best. Look at us learning all about nouns in all our different grades today. So now it is time for our exciting lesson of week 2, lesson 2, English for grade 6 and 7.
Good morning, grade 6s and 7s. Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Oswald Ndoda. With me here is Pamwene. Please, let's welcome him. Right, before we proceed, remember always to put on your mask. Let's reach out on our sanitizers and try to squeeze our hands, our palms, inside, outside, and in between the fingers. Let us all stretch out to make sure we maintain a 1 meter distance. Today's lesson is on countable and uncountable nouns. Right, boys and girls, I would like you to look around wherever you are and try to identify some object or anything that you are seeing around. I'm sure you have identified things like tables, chairs, books, cups, etc. Now, those are common nouns and proper nouns. Remember what we said about common nouns and proper nouns. Proper nouns are specific names of people and of things around us, including animals. And the common nouns are just general names like a tree, kettle, etc. Now, today, let us look at something a little bit different. If we turn to page 3, we would see where it is written countable and uncountable nouns. Let me just try to write something on the board. We have countable nouns and also uncountable nouns. Right. Countable nouns, as the name says, implies to things that you can actually count, and uncountable nouns, it means you cannot count them. Right, let us follow through together. Countable nouns are animals, places, things, individual people or ideas which can be counted. Countable nouns have singular and plural form. For example, dog, dogs, a house, houses, a friend, friends. Countable nouns and quantifiers: a few books, lots of oranges, many people. The countable form can use the indefinite articles a, o, n, and the indefinite article the. Countable nouns have numbers in front of it, 2 apples, 5 dogs, etc. Right, these countable nouns, we are saying, we are talking about the things that you can actually count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right? And uncountable nouns, it means you cannot itemize them. You cannot count them one by one, all right? As the examples that have been given there, to say 1 dog, 2 dogs, 3 dogs, okay? 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, etc. So that is what we call countable nouns. Let us look at uncountable nouns and give some examples. Uncountable nouns, things that cannot be counted. They can be substances. Watch out on that note, there is a wrong spelling there. E.g., sugar or smoke. And abstract ideas or qualities, e.g., bravery, intelligence. Uncountable nouns are always singular, like smoke, air, sugar, intelligence. We cannot count milk. We cannot count milk, but we can count bottles of milk or liters of milk. In other words, we are saying you can't say 1 milk or 2 milks, but you can say milk, 2 bottles of milk, 3 bottles of milk, etc. The definite article the can be used for countable nouns as well as the words some, few, lots of, etc. These can be used for uncountable nouns. They can be used for uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns cannot have a number in front of them. But before we proceed, there is a word, many, just the second last sentence, where it says many. I think that's a mistake, because many is for countable nouns, like you say many books. All right. Now, let us look at the examples of countable nouns, which are orange, apple, lemon, pencil, animal, book, eggs, cow, cherry, man, rubber, friends, watch, pillow, shoe, skirt, coin, bag, suitcase, bone. If we move on to uncountable nouns, we have water, coke, coffee, oil, steam, oxygen, smoke, air, pollution, hair, ink, sugar, flour, milk, salt, sand, ice cream, honey, and information. All right, all these words I've read, we said some of them are countable and others are uncountable. Those which are uncountable, you cannot itemize them. You can't count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sugars. No. Unless if you associate them with their containers to say 2 spoons of sugar, 2 cups of milk, etc. Let us turn to the next page, which is page 4. And we look at further examples. There is an activity 1 there. It says examples of countable and uncountable nouns. Activity 1. Put the nouns in the box into their correct category, countable or uncountable nouns. Write the plural form of the countable nouns. Remember, the plural form is when we say, for example, 2 books, 3 books, which is opposed to a singular form, which says 1 book, 1 pen, 2 pens. All right. So the plural form gives us the quantity of the things. Right. The words that we have are banana, petrol, gold, coal, water, transport, etc. Do we say a banana, or do we say 2 bananas, or we just say bananas? Do we say a water, or we just say water? Do we say a transport, or we just say transport? So there are some columns there for uncountable nouns and countable nouns. And then where we have countable nouns, you need to write the plural form of each. For example, the count nouns or countable nouns, if you take banana, in the plural form, it's going to be bananas. If you take mouse, the plural form is going to be mice. Remember, mice is M-I-C-E. Right, but as for the uncountable nouns, they don't have the plural form. Let's move on to activity 2. Activity 2 says, identify the uncountable noun in each sentence and write it on the line provided. Identify the uncountable noun in each sentence and write it on the line provided. Number 1 says, the duvet is filled with lots of cotton. The duvet is filled with lots of cotton. Right, which one could be our uncountable noun there? The duvet is filled with lots of cotton. Right, we have words duvet, we have a word like cotton. Do we say cottons? Right, so that word is an uncountable. That is what we write on the provided space. Okay, you can only say 2 bags of cotton or 2 rolls of cotton. All right. The next one is junior primary children are filled with energy after their break. Junior primary children are filled with energy after their break. Now, if we look at that one, that sentence, the uncountable nouns, that should be energy. You don't say 2 energies, 3 energies. All right, so we say junior primary children are filled with energy after their break. Right, boys and girls? I would like you to complete the following sentences by identifying the uncountable nouns. Right, boys and girls, let's go back to our page 5, where I explained on uncountable nouns, but let us also look at countable nouns. The instruction says, identify the countable nouns in each sentence and write it on the line provided. Again, there's an error there. As you can see, it says write it them. So you leave out them. Can you cancel it out? So that it reads, identify the countable nouns in each sentence and write it on the line provided. That becomes correct without them. Right. Number 1. The learner misplaced his school bag after school. The learner misplaced his school bag after school. Right, let's identify the countable nouns there. Yes, we have a word like learner, because we can say learners in plural. We also have a word like school bag. We can also say school bags. Even the word school is also schools, right? So those are countable nouns. You can say 1 learner, 2 learners, 1 school bag, 2 school bags, 1 school, 2 schools. So those words are the ones that you write on the space provided. Number 2 says, Scrappy the chicken laid white eggs. Scrappy the chicken laid white eggs. Now, countable nouns there. We have chicken. It can be 2 chickens. We have eggs. Again, it's 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs. Right. From number 3 up to number what? Up to number 4. You can do that on your own. Now let's turn to page 6. Page 6 is another activity with countable and uncountable nouns. The instruction says, complete the sentences using a or some in the blank spaces. A or some. Right. There is some sand in my shoe. There is some sand in my shoe. Number 2 says, there is a $10 note in my wallet. There is a $10 note in my wallet. Right. Let us compare the two. Some sand and a $10 note. Which one is countable and which one is not countable? Some sand, we are using it on things which we cannot count, which is uncountable things. So that's an uncountable noun. And a $10 note, we are using it on countable nouns. A $10 note, 2 $10 notes, 3 $10 notes, 4 $10 notes, etc. Let us look at the next pair of words, sentences. The first one says, there is dash bottle or jar of juice in the cupboard. There is a bottle or jar of juice in the cupboard. A, which means it's countable. It's a countable noun. There is some butter in the fridge. There is some butter in the fridge. Again, here it shows us it's uncountable. We cannot count butter to say 1 butter, 2 butters, 3 butters. Only if you are counting it in terms of its containers. 2 packets of butter, 3 packets of butter, etc. Right, let's move on to the next page. The rest on page 3, activity 3, you will do it on your own. The next page gives us activity 4, countable, uncountable nouns. There is a list of nouns there where it says shopping list. Bread, water, apple, rice, potato, banana, sugar, salt, etc., etc. And then on your right hand, there is where it's written, there is, there are. There is and there are. There is and there are. So we would like to complete those spaces provided. For example, the first one, there is dash an apple. Do we say there is an apple or there are an apple? All right. We say there is an apple because we can count an apple, 2 apples, 3 apples, etc. The next one says there is some sugar, there are some sugar. Which is which there? There is some sugar, there are some sugar. So we would say there is some sugar. And then we go to carrots. There is some carrots, there are some carrots. We would rather say there are some carrots because we can actually count them. There is a banana, right? As you can see, the word banana is in singular form. It's not in plural. So we would say there is a banana. If a word is in, if our noun is in plural, we would say are. If our noun is in singular, we would say is. Right, and then the other part at the bottom there, it says a, an, and some. A, and, sorry, a, an, and some. Number one says, in my fridge, there are dash eggs. In my fridge, there are dash eggs. In my fridge, there are some eggs, some meat, some tomatoes, a carrot, and, sorry, some milk, and a bottle of wine. Right, so you realize that where we have a, the noun there is in plural form. Where we have an, like an egg, the noun will be in singular form. Number two, I went to the supermarket and I bought some rice, a packet of biscuits, a hamburger, sorry, some hamburgers. There's a plural there, there's an S on hamburger. So it's hamburgers, so we say some hamburgers. A loaf of bread or some bread, and an onion. It's one, so we say an onion. So where we use a, it means it's singular. Or if you say a packet of, then it becomes plural. For example, a packet of biscuits, a packet of sweets. And where we use an, again, it's singular. Like an egg, an orange, an envelope. All right. But where we use some, it means we cannot count. So, I mean, it's in plural. Some eggs, some meat. We cannot count meat. All right. So, boys and girls, the other exercise on top, where we did not complete, I would like you to read those words, and then you complete using the is and the are, and then in the next stage, we'll go to the next exercise. Right, boys and girls, let's turn to, let us turn on page 8, turn to page 8. We have activity 5. Say whether the following are countable or uncountable, or both. Right, boys and girls. Remember we said countable are the things that you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And then uncountable, these are the things which we cannot count. All right. And also remember the singular and plural. Now, for countable nouns, we said you put a C. If it's uncountable, if it's uncountable, you put a U. And if it's both countable and uncountable, you put a B. Number 1, dollars. Dollars. Do we say $1, $2, $3, $4. Yes. So it means we can actually count the dollars. But I have often heard people saying $2, $3. That is wrong. You cannot say $3. If there are three, then they become dollars. So you say $3, $4. All right. So you put a C there. Number 2 says water. Do we say 1 water, 2 waters, 3 waters? No. We said water is uncountable. So you put a U there. Unless if you are talking of containers of water, that's when you can say 2 bottles of water, 2 cups of water, etc. That's our number 3, bottle of water. It's countable. 1 bottle of water, 2 bottles of water, etc., etc. And then we have pollution. Do we say 1 pollution, 2 pollutions? No, pollution is pollution. The same applies with food. Do we say 1 food, 2 foods, 3 foods? No. Food is just food as uncountable. So food is uncountable. Now you finish the rest of the exercise by putting countable, uncountable, or both. The next part under that activity says, fill in the gaps with some or any. Some or any. Remember, we gave examples of some sugar. Right, number 1 says, have you got some brothers or sisters? Or do we say, have you got any brothers or sisters? Right. Brothers and sisters can be counted. I have 2 brothers, 3 brothers, 4 brothers. So, for that sentence, you'd rather say, have you got any brothers or sisters? Have you got any brothers or sisters? So in that case, we are saying you can count them. So any is used on countable in that respect. Then number 2 says, we don't need dash milk. Do we say we don't need some milk? Or do we say we don't need any milk? Right, remember milk is not countable. So we say we don't need some milk. We don't need some milk. Unless if it was in containers, that's when we would say we don't need any bottle of milk. We don't need any cup of milk. If it's not in a container, if it's simply milk, you say some milk. Number 3, there are dash pens on the table. There are dash pens on the table. Do we say there are some pens on the table or there are any pens on the table? Which one is appropriate there? There are some pens on the table. There are some pens on the table. Number 4, I want dash eggs because I'm going to make a cake. I want dash eggs because I'm going to make a cake. Would you say, I want some eggs because I'm going to make a cake? Or, I want any eggs because I'm going to make a cake? The proper one there is, I want some eggs because I'm going to make a cake. Number 5, is there dash water in the fridge? Is there dash water in the fridge? Remember, this is a question. Is there dash water in the fridge? Is there some water in the fridge? Is there any water in the fridge? The appropriate one there is there some water in the fridge? You cannot say, is there any water in the fridge? Because we can't count unless if you are talking of containers, is there any bottles of water in the fridge, for example? And the last one there is, are there dash problems? Are there some problems? Are there any problems? Problem 1, problem 2, 3 problems, 4 problems, 5 problems. Therefore, it will be proper to say, are there any problems? Right, boys and girls, let's turn to page 9. It's a continuation of our activities. Right, on page 9, there is an activity C, which says, fill in the blanks with much or many. Much or many. Now, let us see where we would use much and where we use many. Right. How dash money do you have there? How dash money do you have there? Do we say how much money do you have there, or how many money do you have there? Remember, we said for the word many, we use for the things that we can count. I have many cattle, I have many books. And then when you look at much, this is where we use on uncountable nouns. How much money do you have there? That becomes appropriate. How much money do you have there? Number 2, I don't have dash close friends. I don't have dash close friends. Right, friends, remember, can be counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't have many close friends. Many will be appropriate there rather than using much. Many will be appropriate because we are using it on things which we can count like friends. Right, numbers 3 to 6, you do them in your books on your own. Let's proceed to D. Activity D says, fill in the gaps with a lot of, a few, a little, and much. A lot of, a few, a little, and much. Right. You have to be very careful here when you use such items. A lot of books, a lot of goats, a lot of sheep. It means you can actually count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Then we have a few, a little, and much. A few, a little, and much. Where do we use them? Let's go to number 1. I don't have dash experience. I don't have dash experience. Do we say a lot of, a few, a little, and much? Experience, we don't count it. So we say, I don't have much experience, because experience is a noun which we cannot count. It's uncountable. So I don't have much experience. Number 2, there are dash people waiting to buy tickets. about 3 or 4, there are dash people waiting to buy tickets about 3 or 4. Do we say there are a lot of people waiting to buy tickets about 3 or 4, or do we say there are a few people waiting to buy tickets about 3 or 4? There are a little people or there are a much people, right? We are saying here about 3 or 4, which means there are not many. So we say there are a few people waiting to buy tickets about 3 or 4. There are a few people to buy. So a few, we also use it in things that we can count, or nouns that we can count. 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 5 people. All right. So there are a few people waiting to buy tickets about 3 or 4. The next one is, hurry up. I don't have dash time. Hurry up, I don't have dash time. Hurry up, I don't have dash time. Remember, time as it is, you cannot quantify it unless if you are talking of hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. But when we use the word time, it becomes a bit tricky. Hurry up, I don't have dash time. Hurry up, I don't have dash time. Remember, time as it is, you cannot quantify it unless if you are talking of hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. But when we use the word time, it becomes a bit tricky. Right. Hurry up, I don't have, do we say, hurry up, I don't have a lot of time. Hurry up, I don't have a few time. Hurry up, I don't have a little time. Hurry up, I don't have much time. So it should be, hurry up, I don't have much time. Because we cannot say 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Okay. Right, the remaining number 4 to number 8 is for you to do in your books. Right, the last part is saying uncountable nouns. Let's take note of that. There are some nouns which are called, there is another problem again there. It says which are called known as. That is wrong. You simply say there are some nouns which are called uncountables and uncountables. There's a problem there. There's some kind of a repetition. So let's correct it. There are some nouns which are known as uncountables, and it should be uncountables only, not uncountables, then uncountable, right? They never want an S. Even when there is more than one, they would not need an S. Learn them by heart and you will sound correct. Remember that they are tricky, so please don't get upset. Right, I will give some examples here. We have nouns like mice, which is the plural of mouse. Mice is plural for mouse. You don't say 3 mices or 3 mice. 3 mices, I've seen 3 mices, or seen 2 mouses. All right, it's just mice. I have seen mice, 5 of them. Okay, so mice is uncountable. Are we together? Mice. And then we have also another word like rice. Again, that is not countable unless if you count it in terms of packets. 2 packets of rice, 3 packets of rice, etc. So that's the exercise. You may also add on to the one above. Right, last but not least, let's turn to page 10. Right, now page 10 needs people who have good voices. There is a song there. Unfortunately, I would not sing for you because I don't have a good voice. But believe you me, there are lots of nouns, both uncountable and countable nouns, singulars and plurals in that song. So, in pairs, I would ask you to sing the song, and then you identify the uncountable nouns and the countable nouns in that song. Thank you very much, boys and girls. Right, boys and girls, thank you very much. I hope these countable and uncountable nouns, they have helped you quite a lot. And I hope you are going to remember the difference between the two. We said countable nouns, these are the nouns which you can count, and uncountable nouns, they are the nouns which you cannot count. We also talked about the plurals which are uncountable, like the word mice, which should just be read as mice. So keep on reading on these countable and uncountable nouns, singulars and plurals. Try to group them accordingly. Right. Before I go, let us again take our sanitizers and we spray our hands, squeeze our palms, boys and girls, inside and outside, in between the fingers, and we stretch our hands to signify the social distance. Thank you very much. We'll meet in the next lesson. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Shashi. And Simon says don't touch your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth unless your hands are super clean. Bye!
Teacher Oswald, you are on a roll today. That was a fantastic lesson, all about countable and uncountable nouns. But speaking of countable, remember you can always count on the MyZone online school to bring you the best news, the best teachers, the best lessons, and the best booklets. But speaking of our online school, we decided to share some fun facts with you on the educational booklets that we are printing. So please remember to take a look at that, and also to see an interview with my friend Elizabeth Joseph with one of our superstar teachers. That's it. Please remember, stay safe, be happy, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and bye!
Everyone,
everyone. My name is Elizabeth Joseph, and thank you so much for joining us again. I have another guest here for you guys, but I'm not going to introduce him. He's going to do that for us. So before we do anything, let's sanitize our hands. There we go. This is very important. So, sir, how are you today?
I'm very fine.
That's it. Who are you? Just introduce yourself to us and just tell me what it is that you've been doing here and how your experience has been.
Okay, my name is Abisai. Nendongo is my surname. I'm an English teacher at Matiatisari Primary School. Well, yeah, that's it.
All right. What have you been doing here at NMH? Have you been helping them with the booklets?
Oh, yeah, I've been helping them with the booklets, setting up with the lessons. Yeah.
All right. And how has that been for you? How has that experience been?
Since I'm still a novice teacher, it's quite a perfect experience for me because I'm learning a lot. And as I'm learning, I'm also giving back and putting my knowledge into practice, so to say.
There you have it. And so one last word of advice for you to the kids out there?
Well, I will advise the kids just to pay attention. It's basically just the same as we are in the classroom. Just follow what your parents are doing. If your mom is there helping you, just follow her. She'll be your teacher. After all, she's your mother, your teacher. She's everything to you. Just listen to her or to your father, brother, anyone. If they are not there, I will still advise you to just follow just do what you need to do in order to learn.
All right. There you have it. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, sir, for being my guest today. Keep yourself sanitized and make sure that you also learn. Thank you so much from us here in studio. It's bye-bye.
Thank you.